Hello, welcome back. Hey, if this is your first time coming to the channel, go ahead and hit the like button. That's by hitting that thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel. That's by hitting the bell. Turn on your notifications. That way, every time I upload or go live, which I go live on every Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I usually upload every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You'll be notified of those uploads and those live events. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for joining me. This video right here is going to be narcissistic emotional abuse from parents. Let's get right into that after this. Hello, welcome back. Again, I'm your host, Solomon Savoy Jr., certified life coach. If you want to reach me, I'll throw this up here right quick. I don't do it too often, but I say I don't do it too often. I do it actually a lot. But you can go to my website, faithbasedworkplace.com. Again, like I said, this video is narcissistic emotional abuse from parents. Let's get right into this one. Things that, a narcissistic parent do, they will often abuse the typical parental role. So they take the parental role and they take it way out of context on what it needs to be. So they might become overly possessive, controlling. They do a lot of things that, when I say controlling, they control the child from basically being a child even up to adulthood. So a lot of times you'll see people end up in these situations where the parent they want it all. So they want you to buy them a house and cars and they basically live through you. They live through the child. And I don't know if we all have witnessed that. I can't say that, but a lot of people I know have witnessed those situations where the parent is controlling their life and they're 30, 40, 50 years old, and the parents still want to have access and still be able to control those things. And to be honest with you, it's kind of sad, but I mean, it's the world we live in today when we're dealing with narcissistic abuse, especially from a parent. It's shocking because I don't think we grow up and realize that, or want our parents to be that way. We find these things out later on in life and we realize that, this is not what I signed up for. So, just remember that and just keep that in mind, that you're not going to find out these things, 14, 15, 16 years old, because it's not being taught. I'm praying that it get taught more, maybe in school, or we have other parents start standing up that been through narcissistic abuse, which I know we are, and start teaching this to the kids. That way, we start, like my wife always said, we start breaking these generational curses. So let's keep moving right on. Being raised by a narcissistic parent, it gives rise to the, I'm not that good enough. It basically is putting doubts and doubtful seeds into the child's brain. So you grow up thinking that, I'm not good enough. I'll never be good enough. I can never, be what the parent has, basically what they want me to be. So basically, like I'm saying, the parent wants you they have you at this high standard that, man, come on, man, we all can't live up to some of the things they want us to be. They want you to be scientists and all this stuff. And the crazy thing about it is they've never done none of these things. Now it's different if your parent is a surgeon or a doctor or a lawyer and things like that, and they want the best for you, so they push you to be a doctor or a lawyer, which I think that's still wrong, because the child should be able to do things that they want to do within reason. But they never did none of these things, but they want you to be there. And the reason why, again, my thought process is they want you to do these things because they want you to be able to take care of them later on in life and buy them a house, buy them cars, things like that. Come on, y'all. We can't continue doing these things and beating ourselves up on things like that. I mean, think about it. If you live your whole life trying to live up to your parent, you'll miss opportunities left and right on things that you should be doing in life and things that God has assigned for you to do. So I always talk about this. We all have a purpose. So if your purpose is to be, I don't know, let's just use doctor. So your purpose is to be a doctor, but your parent pushing you to be a lawyer, that's not in your field. It's not in your wheelhouse. Now, can you do it? Yeah, you probably can. Now, will you be happy doing it? Probably not, because that's not what you was called to do. So we need to stop looking at these situations and stop saying, well, my mom want me to do this. No, do what you need to do for you. Let's bring in the first Bible verse. This is Proverbs. Let me get it. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So to me, a lot of people are prideful. Prideful, and there's nothing wrong with prideful and being prideful of things that you do, things that you say, how you carry yourself, things like that. But you can't let it overtake you to, you go to a downfall, almost to a fault. So again, parents, I think, when you're dealing with narcissistic emotional abuse from parents, I think they set you up for failure from jump. They're going to have they so prideful and they always posting on Facebook about how good their child is, and when you make straight honor or straight A's or whatever in school, they tell. There's nothing wrong with that, but you putting so much pressure on that child, as a child. My thing is, let that child be a child. Let them grow up. Let them go outside and play. Don't have them just in the house all the time, just studying and doing things that you want them to do. Now, don't get me wrong. They do need to study and get their lesson. I'm not saying that. They need to go to school because that's part of the system. I'm not going to even start about that with the system in schools. So, yeah, they do need to do that. But, don't get them so caught up to where they just miss out on different opportunities and different things they should be doing. They miss out on playing with their friends. They miss out on going on trips with different people because you want them to be this doctor or this lawyer or this scientist. And you've been nothing but a cashier your whole life, or you've been, I'm talking about the parent, you've been, these things. Now, what I'm saying, don't get me wrong. Do we want better for our kids? Yes. I get it. You don't want that you went through a life and that's all you was able to become was a cashier. Yes, we want better for our kids. So I'm not saying that, but don't do it into a situation where the child is so much pressure is put up on them where they miss their upbringing, they miss their childhood, and they end up becoming something that they're not. So narcissistic emotional abuse from a parent, it's tough, and it puts the child in a state of mind where they don't know they're going or coming, and God don't want that for us. To me, that's another form. That's emotional. It's another form of abuse. It's emotional abuse, when you're doing that to the child. So let's remember that. Okay, let's keep moving. I don't want this video to be too long, but I want to keep y'all, entertained while I'm doing this, but let's keep moving. Children learn to fit into the molds of their parents, which, that's what the parent create for them. So the parent create a certain thing they want for the child to become or do. So now we have this situation where the child is going all out of the way trying to impress their parent. And that's what it comes down to. They're trying to impress the parent. They're trying to do everything that they can to impress that parent. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, the child goes back and start thinking about things. And they're like, man, if only I would have did this, and this. And we don't want them to be that. Don't do that. Don't put them in that state of mind where they just lost, because now we didn't push them out, and they're not trusting God because they trust in you more than God. They like basically worshiping the parent. We don't want our children to worship us. We want them to worship God. So when you have them doing certain things, when you're dealing with narcissistic abuse from a parent, I think the parent is placed on a pedestal, So now you have this child worshiping this parent, it could be I'm saying parent because it goes either way. It could be a mom or dad. So it's not like it's one or the other. It could be both. Sometimes both of them are narcissists. And now you getting maybe physical abuse from the dad, and then you get this emotional abuse from the mom, or it's flipped sometimes, vice versa, So people don't want to talk about this, but I want to continue talking about narcissist abuse, not just in the workplace, because yes, that's what faith-based workplace is about, talking about narcissist abuse in the workplace. But if we don't deal with childhood trauma, go check out my video about that, about childhood trauma that I did, because it pops up again in our adult lives, and that's not what we want for that to pop up. Let's keep moving. Narcissistic behavior can be difficult to handle at best. It's difficult. Even for me as an adult, it can be difficult to be around narcissistic abuse. So imagine being around a narcissist and having that, how they go into narcissistic rage and all these things, and you're a child. So imagine that. And some of us, we have been through that. We've seen our children, go through that because maybe you was married to someone that's narcissist. So let's, that's why prayer is powerful. That's why boundaries are powerful. That's why a great rock is powerful. That's why no contact is powerful. If you don't know what those terms mean, I've done a video about that, so you can go into detail about those. Let's keep moving along. Again, hit that like button, you just tuned into the video, go ahead, hit the like button, and then, if this content is beneficial to somebody, and go ahead and share it out, children learn to become something that they're not. That's kind of what I've been saying. So they're not meant to be a doctor or a lawyer or a firefighter or a cop, you know, following in the father, oh, I want to be a cop, and maybe they're supposed to be something else. So my take on it is, you know, pray for the child, teach them different things, you know, show them, you know, it's because it's not all about money. You want them to be happy in what they're doing in life. They might be doing this career 20, 30, 40 years, whether it's military or a firefighter or, you know, maybe it's a government position, whatever the case is. We want to make sure they're happy and pick something that's beneficial for them, not beneficial to us, because them going into safety like I did might not be beneficial for them. Maybe they should be a nurse or a doctor. So just keep that in mind. Let's keep moving along. Growing up with a narcissistic parent, the child often doesn't realize there's anything wrong. I mean, because think about it, that's all you know. So until you see differently and learn, you know, you live and you learn. Until you learn something differently, that's all you know. So you're not, you know, it's a child. The brain is still developing. So you just don't understand. Look how many years it took me to realize, you know, that my stepdad, you know, the guy got some issues so far as being a narcissist. So, you know, I'm 40 plus years old, 42, you know, I have no problem saying my age. So I'm 42 years old and just realizing that, you know, well, I guess I was 41 when I realized it, but I'm just saying, so you realize that something is wrong with this parent. And, you know, it just, I've been around it all my life. You know, that's the guy that raised me. Now, I do know that some things was wrong. I recognize that, but you know, again, you live and you learn. When you're a child, you do child things. When you're a man, you go do more manly things, and, you know, reading Bibles and learning things, studying narcissist abuse, learning about narcissist abuse. So, hey, part of the process. So I'm just praying that more people learn about narcissist abuse, realize what the different issues are when you're dealing with narcissist abuse. So let's keep moving. We almost wrapping this one up. The emotional detachment shows up later on in life. So, you know, not dealing with it. Like I said, I did a video on childhood trauma also. So not dealing with it, it's going to rear its ugly head from somewhere. It's going to come out of somewhere, and it's going to come out when you least expect it. So now you realize that you've been through all this different abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, you know, financially, whatever the case is, you know, with this parent. And now you're like, man, hold on. I done went through all this, and now you gotta rethink. You gotta basically retraining yourself to be a adult now, because a lot of things you was taught wasn't right. And do we blame the parents 100%? No, but if they're narcissistic, I'll put more blame on them, because, you know, a lot of people like to debate, do parents or people that's narcissists know right from wrong? Yes, they do. It's like going into a store and stealing a sneaker bar, not paying for it. You know that's wrong. You know that maybe you can go to jail for that. I mean, now, will you serve 20 years for stealing a Snickers bar? Probably not. But wrong is wrong, right is right. So someone beating you or emotionally abusing you, like we're talking about in this video, they emotionally abusing you, we have to realize that that parent knows right from wrong. So let's keep moving. Next Bible verse. This is Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So, you know, a lot of times, you know, we get into situations, you know, the heart is the heart. You know, if you're not of God and you're doing evil things, it can be deceitful. So we can figure out a lot of different things that's not right in the situation. So we have to figure out some of these things for ourselves. So let's move down to the last thing. We can't control when or where childhood trauma will show up. I wanted to leave y'all with that, because we can't. We think we can control it. We think that everything that we've been through as a kid, that, oh, we're adults now, so we can handle it. No, you might need to see a therapist. You might need to see a life coach, different things like that. You need to talk to somebody, because some of these things need to come out. You know, it need to be said. And some things we forget because we stuff it down so far, so we don't even realize that we've been through narcissistic emotional abuse from parents. So again, this video was about narcissistic emotional abuse from parents. I just wanted to drop this little quick video. I hope it was able to touch you. Hey, again, share this content out, you know, like it, subscribe to the channel, and hey, I'll see you again. I'm Solomon Savoy. Thank you.